Damn it, Scott! Just when I thought I could relax, you throw us the final chapter of, quote, the original storyline of Five Nights at Freddy's. Throughout this series, there's always been one overarching question. Who is the Purple Man? To explain that, we have to go through this entire game, piece by piece. There's confusion, there's horror, but in the middle of it all, we can find some clarity. So instead of focusing on a single character, this time let's focus on this infuriating and frustrating genius of a game, and see if just maybe we can scare out the story you never knew. First off, in this new game, we play as a young child, nameless, scared, crying. Each night we guard ourselves against monsters in our house, pushing through until 6 a.m. At the end of each night, we are rewarded with a minigame where horrible things happen to us. Our brother scares us, we get left at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and on the last night, we see our older brother presenting us to Golden Freddy, only to have our head destroyed within the jowls of the animatronic. This is undoubtedly the bite of 87. And yes, we've heard the other theories, but they're wrong. After beating the 6th night, we see Golden Freddy apologizing for what he's done in spite of being our friend. This bite was unexpected behavior because he's been there to help us throughout the whole game, following us around, staring at us. Yes, I see you there in that gutter, and behind that fence post, and in that flower. How'd you even do that? Perhaps the first thing we should establish is when exactly this game occurs. Recall the oh-so-confusing Five Nights at Freddy's timeline. First, we have the events at the original Fazbear's Diner, where no game has yet taken place. After that, we have Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which took place at the grand reopening of the original Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Then we have Five Nights at Freddy's 1, which took place at a downscaled pizzeria. Then we have Five Nights at Freddy's 3, which took place at an amusement park attraction somewhere. As for where Five Nights at Freddy's 4 fits into this, when we look at the minigames, we can clearly see Golden Freddy operating as both an animatronic and as a wearable suit. Whereas in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, we see Golden Freddy decommissioned in the back. Thusly, Five Nights at Freddy's 4 comes before Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Further thusly, the bite of 87 also comes before Five Nights at Freddy's 2, despite previous popular opinion. With that settled, on to the actual gameplay. During each night, from time to time, we can just barely see out-of-place items appear by our bedside. A bouquet of flowers, a pill bottle, an IV drip, items not normally found in a young child's room. These items are Scott's way of letting us infer that we are not in a bedroom, but a hospital room. Confused? Allow me to explain. In every game thus far, every minigame has been a flashback, occurring sometime before the actual game. The same must be true for Five Nights 4. And so the Night 6 minigame, where the bite of 87 unfolds, has actually already happened. We, the crying child, are actually in a hospital, dreaming all of this within the confines of our mind. Scott has been hinting at this fact since the game was announced. He has continually thrown the word nightmare at us again and again. For example, in the announcement on his website, the word nightmare is right there. There's also even an animatronic called Nightmare. Hell, just look at any animatronic during the Five Nights 4 gameplay. They look just like the suits we're used to, but nightmare-y. Am I supposed to believe somebody actually made mascots for children that looked like this? No. These are nightmares. Now let's figure out who this child is that we play as. Throughout the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 minigames, we only ever see one animatronic inhabited by a spirit, Golden Freddy. That creepy motherfucker. Now remember, assuming our timeline is correct, that means the events at Fazbear's Diner occurred sometime before Five Nights at Freddy's 4. It was at Fazbear's Diner where the Purple Man took the life of an innocent child. If Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is next in the timeline, that means this first child is Golden Freddy, because he's the only one who could be a ghost. But then who is this child who cries in just about every scene? Let's look at the very end of the game, where Golden Freddy apologizes for biting his friend, promising to put him back together. And put him back together he shall. For throughout much of the Five Nights at Freddy's series, we see an important character rocking the very same tears of our wet-eyed protagonist, the puppet. In fact, the puppet never appears in Five Nights 4, which makes sense because he didn't exist yet. So clearly our crying child is the one who haunts the puppet. With all this information about who is what, it's time to talk about who is not what. That's right. I'd like to address the popular theory that the phone guy is the Purple Man by saying that the phone guy is not the Purple Man. Most people's reason for believing this is along the lines of phone guy being a night guard, while the Purple Man is also clearly a night guard, as seen by the badge. Phone guy also says that Foxy was always his favorite, while the Purple Man smiles at Foxy during the Foxy Go 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 minigame in Five Nights 2. Also, the Purple Man appears to have a phone in his hand. I'm sure there's more, but you get the point. Seems pretty convincing, right? And yet, some things just don't add up. Take, for instance, the supposed phone in the Purple Man's hand. This ain't no phone I've ever seen. What the hell kind of phone looks like that and doesn't have a cord? I ain't buying it. So I'd like to offer an alternative explanation. It's a crank. Recall the Springtrap suits require the springs to be rolled back with a crank so that a user may wear the suit. I think the Purple Man's been doing some cranking. But the real kicker, the real proof that Phone Guy is not the Purple Man is that Phone Guy dies during a recording in Five Nights 1. Yet the Purple Man is milling around killing people in the minigames in Five Nights 3, which take place after the downscaled pizzeria from the first game has been closed down and is in disrepair, as can be seen by the leaky ceilings and rats. So clearly Phone Guy is dead at this point. Bada boom, bada bang, Phone Guy does not equal Purple Man. We know that someone has been tinkering with the animatronics across the entire Five Nights at Freddy's timeline, and it's this very same tinkering which got Mike Schmidt and Jeremy Fitzgerald fired after their respective appearances. But does anybody really think they did it? They're always portrayed as non-important characters, just doing what they need to do to survive and rake in that sweet minimum wage paycheck. And it seems odd that both would do such a thing. It's more likely that there is only one consistent tinkerer, the Purple Man. That skeevy bastard! Do we have evidence of other tinkering elsewhere? As a matter of fact, in one of the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 minigames, it's possible to stumble across a dismembered Foxy, otherwise known as Mangle, in this room adorned with many pink decorations. Wait a second. Mangle! If our timeline is correct, Mangle and the other toy animatronics haven't even been created yet, because they're first introduced in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Someone in this house has special early access privileges to the animatronics at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Is this the work of the Purple Man? Perhaps. Why Mangle appears to be in a girl's room, I don't know. But someone brought it here, and it probably wasn't a little girl. You know what's strange? Throughout the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 minigames, our crying child is always ending up at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, despite it clearly stating that he hates it there. Our crying child is even told by Golden Freddy, he left without you. He knows that you hate it here, implying a male brings him here regularly for some reason. The only explanation I have for this is that someone in his family works at the pizzeria and brings him along for fear of leaving such a young child alone at home. And also apparently to torture him. Because in this minigame, this poor kid is locked in the storage closet, sobbing his eyes out as he's trapped amongst the disemboweled bodies of these creepy animatronics. It stands to say that whoever is bringing our protagonist to the pizzeria day after day also has access to employee-only areas like this horrifying closet. So our idea of this kid getting brought along because someone in his family works at Freddy Fazbear's checks out. The Purple Man works at Freddy Fazbear's. Could the Purple Man be in the crying child's family? If that were true, then the obvious choice would be the brother, who dickishly startles his younger sibling with a quick jump scare and a foxy mask many times over. But this brother can't be the Purple Man. He's not tall enough, because in this particular Easter egg in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, the Purple Man can be seen standing behind this door, about yay high. Yet in a later minigame, we see the brother with his signature foxy mask in front of the very same door, standing about yay high. The yays don't add up! So we know the Purple Man can't be the brother, yet it makes sense that he's someone in the crying child's family. Why else would all of this tinkering occur at Fazbear's Pizza with Mangle found in the crying child's house? Why else would the crying child be locked in a storage room that only employees have access to? But if it's not the brother, who else could it be? We do know it's a he who has been bringing our sobbing protagonist to this unfortunate pizzeria. That only leaves the father. These kids had to have come from somewhere, right? But we have no mention of a father. Or do we? There is one small Easter egg that Scott so geniusly left for our prying eyes. In the left-hand corridor, when we shine our flashlight, we can see family photos on the wall. Look closely at these photos. They don't look like the rest of the game. No, these are actual pictures. And doesn't someone look a little familiar? Someone we've known for the entire game, the entire series since the very beginning. These pictures are of Scott Cawthon himself, Scott and his family. And Scott's real family has 2 sons, just like the crying child's family. The crying child is dreaming of these pictures in his own house. If the Purple Man isn't the phone guy, and he isn't the brother, then who else could it be? Would Scott really leave the Purple Man as just some random character we've never met? No, we have met him. The creator, the one man we've known from the very beginning, who has fooled us over and over again, finally reveals his true colors. Purple. Scott is the Purple Man. And that's the story you never knew.
Alright guys, we're gonna be looking for a subscriber button and trying not to get eaten, so let's go.
What the fuck, man? Get out of here!
What's up, dude?
Look.
Oh, there it is. Found it.
Get out of here, man!